Hey guys, it's Jen again. This is the third video I have made today because I just kind of want to make them all. I'm sorry that the lighting does kind of weird stuff. I'm not professional at this or anything. I'm recording in my living room on the computer desk with my cell phone, and there's a lamp here. But if I shut it off, it gets too dark for you to see my beautiful face. Okay, so this is going to be a book haul video. These are all books that I bought within the last, say, month or so, except one thing, because it's cool, and I bought it at a bookstore. So the first thing I bought this from Half Price Books in Indianapolis, was this. Isn't this cool? I paid $3 for it. That's what that price tag says up there, right here. $3. It's the National Sarcasm Society. Like, we need your support. And then that says, E pluribus smartassimus. I love it. It's just a metal sign from a wall because I liked it and I thought it was funny. You might not. Next thing I bought, they had a sale going on where a lot of books were $1. So my mom really likes to read, but she doesn't like the kind of books I like. So I bought some with her in mind. This is one of them. I paid $1. It's Dear John by Nicholas Sparks. I don't know that I'll ever read it. This is the back. I'm not going to read you this right here on this book particularly because there's a movie about it. And if you really want to know about this one, you can look it up yourself because I'm probably not going to read it. No. Next thing I got, I paid $1.99 for The Inferno by Dante Alighieri. Dante? That's a nice name. Dante Alighieri. So, it is poetry about hell. I've never read it, actually, and I'm an English major. Isn't that bad? But that's why I bought it, so I can read it. I'm gonna sit down with my little highlighter and just read stuff about hell. Okay, next thing, I paid $6 for this, $5.99. Spike Club by Chuck Palahniuk. I have read this book countless times. I have a copy of it on my Nook, but I wanted it in paper. So I bought it. That's what I do. Okay, next thing, I paid $5.99 for this too. It's The Private Life of Jane Smiley. I've never heard of this book, but it sounded really good. It's glittery. Isn't that nice? The back says, at the turn of the 20th century in rural Missouri, Margaret Mayfield, regarded as an old maid at 27, marries Captain Andrew Early. He's the most famous man their small town has ever produced, a brilliant astronomer and a naval officer. But from the moment their train leaves for his naval base in faraway California, Andrew's behavior confounds Margaret. When personal tragedies strike and national crises envelop the country, Margaret is forced to reconsider the life she has so carefully constructed. I think it sounds good. Once again, this is one of the books that I'll probably share with my mom. I'll probably read it, but it's going to be more like the take time between English major stuff kind of books. Yeah. I have a recently newfound love of Bukowski. I've only read his poetry. I've never read one of his books before. I paid $5.99 for Post Office by Charles Bukowski. This is the one about Henry Chinaski. Henry Chinaski is a low-life loser with a hand-to-mouth existence. His menial post office day job supports a life of beer, one-night stands, and racetracks. Lurid, uncompromising, and hilarious, Post Office is a landmark in American literature. This is his first book that he wrote, and so I kind of thought it was fitting to start at the beginning if I'm going to read the Bukowski. If you have Netflix and you want to know more about Bukowski, there is a documentary about him. I believe it's called Born Into This. It's about Bukowski, and it's really good. I love knowing more about authors. Okay, the next one is definitely a mommy book, but I might read it too. I paid $1, as you can see, for The Memory Keeper's Daughter. This is the one about the twins. One of them has Down syndrome, and the dad makes a decision. I don't know what that decision is because I've never read the book or watched the movie. but I'll probably might read it eventually. This next book my dad gave me. I didn't buy it, but I would have, because I like old poetry and stuff. This is by Irving, and it's The Life and Voyages of Christopher Columbus. I will not read this ever. I just like old books, and this is a very old book. What year was this printed? Let me find the title page. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna edit this out. You can just watch me. I don't know, I don't even see a publisher page anywhere. I just see the preface. So it must be really old because there's no publisher page. I mean, obviously it's old, but there you have it. Okay, and next, okay, let's talk a little bit here, okay? I love the English language. I love languages. As loving languages, I love books about the language. So I got this. Paid $4.99 for it. And this is about, it's called Write It Right. See, Write It Right. And it's by Ambrose Bierce. I think that's how you say his name, I'm not sure. But it is, let me read you the inside. Ambrose Bierce is best known for the Devil's Dictionary, but the prolific journalist, satirist, and fabulist was also a usage maven. In 1909, he published several hundred of his pet peeves in Write It Right, a little blacklist of literary faults. So it's kind of, you know, phrases we use that aren't correct. It's in here. I will definitely read that. Okay, I think that's the end of Half Price Books. There you go. So these are all, yeah, these are mostly from Books A Million. Now, this is the Grammar Bible, and it's a grammar book. I'm not going to tell you how much I paid for these because they're not discounted. Okay, next, I got The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Everybody knows what it's about. Love story about cancer. Romantic! My mom read it. She read this copy, actually, because I'm a nice daughter, and that's what I do. Everybody should read books. This one is a punctuation book. It's called Eats, Shoots, and Leaves. It's the panda joke where the panda walks into a bar and he eats the food and then he shoots somebody and then he leaves, and then somebody says, "Why did you do that, Mr. Panda?" And he says, "Because I'm a panda." If you look up my definition, it says eats, shoots, and leaves. So I did. Man, I am bad at telling jokes. I'm sorry about. I'm not editing this, so you get the realness. So there you have that. That's not a new book. Needles and Pearls, Knitting Romance. Not new. I've kind of read a lot of this already, but I haven't finished it because I got bored. Sorry. This one is called Mrs. Poe. I've never heard of this book, but it really caught my attention. I love Edgar Allan Poe. I have a big tattoo of him on my thigh. So, this is the triumphant success of Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven compels fledgling poet Frances Osgood to meet her literary idol, a mysterious, complicated man who soon has her under his seductive spell in an all-consuming affair. And when Edgar's frail young wife breaks into their idol to befriend her. I messed that up. Let me start over with that sentence. And when Edgar's frail young wife breaks into their idol to befriend her rival, Frances fears that deceiving Mrs. Poe may be as impossible as cheating death itself. Sounds so interessant. And that's the inside silky page thing. Okay, this one is another English book. How to Read Literature Like a Professor. I feel like I should read this because I'm gonna be an English teacher. So, okay, next is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. A mysterious island, an abandoned orphanage, a strange collection of peculiar photographs, It all waits to be discovered in Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, an unforgettable novel that mixes fiction and photography in a thrilling reading experience. As our story opens, a horrific family tragedy sets 16-year-old Jacob journeying to a remote island off the coast of Wales, where he discovers the crumbling ruins of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. As Jacob explores its decaying bedrooms and hallways, it becomes clear that Miss Peregrine's children may have been more than just peculiar. They may have been dangerous. They may have been quarantined on a desert island for good reason. And somehow, impossible though it seems, they may still be alive. Look at the cover. Doesn't that just make you want to read it? There's another one. The second one of this is called Hollow City. I haven't got that yet because I haven't read the first one. Temptation. I'm bad at it. This book I've read before, but I love it and I want to read it again. I have it on my Nook. Like I have a lot of books on my Nook. But this is one of my favorite authors. His name is Michael Faber. And this is The Crimson Petal and the White. This book is set in Victorian England, and it takes you from the low of the low to a prostitute up to the high and mighty. And you go this through a prostitute, and it's good. You can read it if you want to. I got another Bukowski book, actually. Whatever. This is Women by Charles Bukowski. Low-life writer and unrepentant alcoholic Henry Chinaski was born to survive. After decades of slacking off at low-paying, dead-end jobs, blowing his cash on booze and women, and scrimping by in a flea-bitten apartment, Chinaski sees his poetic star rising at last. Now, at 50, he is reveling in his sudden rock star life, running 300 hangovers a year and maintaining a sex life that would cripple Casanova. With all of Bukowski's trademark humor and gritty, dark honesty, this 1978 follow-up to Post Office and Factotum is an uncompromising account of life on the edge. So I'm going to read this after I read Post Office, and I guess I should probably read Factotum too. I kind of like to read books in order that the author published sometimes. That's just a thing I do. I bought another John Green book, The Abundance of Catherines. Haven't read it. I will read it. Have not. My mom did. She read this copy. Like I said, good daughter, right here. And finally, we have come to the end, my dear friends. I bought Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This is about a man who, I haven't read it, but this is about a man who plots the perfect crime. He murders someone, and that's all I'm going to tell you. It's about the ideal crime. So that's all we have for today, my children. Hope you come back and spend a little more time in the insane asylum with me. And my little cat, she's over there on the couch asleep. So, hope you have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.